I think you need the extra leg.
Yes, I do. I'm Bo, I'm 7'1", and we're going to the airport today. This is Tall Talk. Let's have story time while you travel with me through the airport and see what it's like to be a giant. All right, guys, welcome to my POV, 7'1", walking through the airport. I guess this is a little bit of a story time. Sit back, relax, grab some food, experience being 7'1". Most people come in here stressed, rushed, bumping shoulders. Me, I come in already ducking through the automatic doors. It's like a low ceiling gym. And trust me, the taller you are, the funnier this whole place becomes. So let's take a little walk together. First thing I notice, ceilings. Normal height people never think about it, but every archway, every low hanging sign, every random sprinkler head, it's like an obstacle course for me. And yeah, don't even get me started on the elevators and how low the walls hang down. I get to already see on top of everybody's head, but now like looking up, it's just, okay, I'm like, all right, I have to duck here. Hey, I could probably touch up there. That's pretty dusty. But here we go. We're going down the elevator. Look how short everyone looks. But then I'm like, oh, watch my head. Oh, I'm like, wow, look at this. Sometimes I'll touch the light. You can even see some insects in there sometimes. But the crowded airports are, it's really something else. If you are claustrophobic, being tall is probably a bad idea, especially when you're at the end of elevators and you have to duck under here. Otherwise, you clip your head on the plastic. And yes, I've done that before. Everyone's bobbing and weaving. Head is at my shoulder level. Meanwhile, I'm cruising with my built-in aerial view. People think it's like a drone view, but no, it's just me. I can literally walk around. I can see the departure boards right eye level with me. I can even check it without stopping or tilting my head. Otherwise, I hit my head on them. Now, here's where it gets fun. Those little airport convenience stores. Everyone else has to crouch down, look to get the gum and stretch up for snacks. Me, the top shelf is basically right in my face. It's like the store was designed for me to be a guardian of the expensive $9 Pringles. One time a woman literally tapped me on the elbow, not on the shoulder, yes, the elbow, and she said, "Can you grab that blanket for me?" At this point, I should just start to charge $5 every time someone asks me to reach and grab something. You know what? Side hustle. Tall guy grab service, 24/7. Actually, grab service, that could be taken the wrong way. I need to work on the name there. But I do have a lot of interactions with like kids in these situations. Like, for example, I was waiting to get on this train here on the way back from the airport, or on the way back from where I went in this video. But the funniest moment happened with this kid. Every airport without fail, some little kid stares at me like I'm a Marvel character. I had one kid look at me, he tugged on my mom's sleeve and whispers, "Mom, is that man on stilts?" And the mom didn't even answer. She just nodded. Because she probably just didn't even want to deal with it. Maybe he asks weird questions all the time. "Ah, duck your head, Bo." Oh my gosh. By the way, trains are just sort of terrifying. I'm always just ducking. I actually couldn't even stand straight in this. This is the shuttle in the Atlanta airport. But yeah, the mama basically told the kid that I was a Marvel superhero, which made me feel good. I was like, which Marvel superhero am I? Maybe comment that down below what you think I would be. And I just don't think she was going to explain to her kid what genetics were. She's like, yep, he's a circus act. Keep moving along. And then shortly after that, I got to security. So picture this. Now we're at security. And this part is always the adventure. Everyone else is sliding shoes off. Actually, I think a law just passed where you don't have to take your shoes off anymore. Now that I'm thinking about it. But you take your laptops out, everyone's yelling at you. The TSA agents are like, "Take off your hoodie. No, take off your jacket. Take off your shoes. Wait, don't take off your shoes. New law passed." It's just the most hectic, confusing thing. Take the laptops out of the bags, blah, blah, blah. Me, I'm over here trying to fold myself into a scanner like an origami swan. It's just, I have to do all this stuff, but then I don't go into the scanner thing. I have to literally try to fit through the metal detector because guess what? They don't want me folding like an origami swan inside of the scanner because I just plain don't fit. So like if the scan were to go around, it'd look like the headless horseman is standing in the scanner because I'm too tall. So I go through the metal detector and then they run little paper things on my hands to make sure I don't have gunpowder or bomb residue on my hands apparently. So the TSA agent literally just goes, "Sir, please raise your arms." And I'm like, "Buddy, if I raise my arms any higher, I'm going to be knocking out the ceilings in this whole place." And he just started laughing. Sometimes you just got to have fun with it. Sometimes I catch them staring at my hairline. Like maybe I've just got snacks hidden up there. They tell me to take off my hat. And I'm just like, okay, I'll take off my hat. And spoiler, it's just headphones most of the time. But one time I did get pulled over, not pulled over, but I was in line and the TSA agents, two of them walked up to me and they said, sir, please step out of line. And I was like, okay, I'm already gonna be late for my flight. They're like, it's okay, we'll deal with that after. They pulled me aside. I went into a room and they basically told me that I was a big presence and they needed to do some sort of security check. They checked my backpack. They told me that they were like looking for someone or something. I don't know. It was a very weird situation. I was like already stressed. I didn't want to miss my flight. And they were just too busy telling me I'm a big presence. And then one of them started asking me all the tall questions and joking with me. He's like, oh, did you play basketball? Haha, all these. I'm just like, dude, I got to go to my flight. But when it comes down to it, they let me go back. Anyways, once you survive TSA, it's gate time. And let me tell you, those chairs, yeah, they're built for Oompa Loompas. Knees to chest, arms spilling over the side, the people looking at me, always saying, oh, wish they made chairs your size at the airport, as if I'm some crazy, massive linebacker, which I guess I sort of am, just a really skinny linebacker. And it just looks like I'm a T-Rex sitting in a toddler seat. I try to sit down, it makes no sense. They gotta make bigger chairs. And then they have these massive, I would say handicap ones, but you can't sit in those because the one time that I did, I got yelled at by a worker and he's like, are you handicapped? And I'm like, I mean, sort of. I don't really fit in places. Maybe I should just have a limp next time and just limp right into the chair so I can just actually have a comfortable seat at the airport. But here's a pro tip. When you're my height and you're at the gates, you cannot fall asleep at the gates because the second you nod off, at least 3 people will tap you on the shoulder and ask you if you play basketball. They'll ask for a picture. Imagine drifting into dreamland only to be pulled back. So, are you in the NBA? No, Karen, I'm just trying to survive sitting in this chair and I'm trying to get some sleep because the second I get on this plane, I'm definitely not gonna be able to get some sleep. As I walk, people stare, which is fine, I get it. I look like a lamppost with a backpack, but the stares are always the same. Curiosity, confusion, and then whispers. I've heard so many whispers in my life that I've trained my ears to pick up, how tall is he? Sometimes I want to shout back, 7'1", and yes, I can grab that for you. You know what's wild? Even when I'm not moving, people still use me as a landmark. I literally heard someone on the phone at the airport go, yeah, meet me by the tall guy. Like I'm some Starbucks or something. Like, can't you just say gate C17? But no, they're like, the tall guy over by Starbucks. Like I'm a human airport sign. And now the dreaded time, boarding time and looking at everyone's bald spot time. I guess that's every time. This is where the tall life gets real. You know how normal people step onto the plane, toss their bag up and sit down? Yeah, no. For me, it's a wrestling match with fuselage. Step 1, duck so you don't knock yourself out on the doorway, which you'll see in a second. Step 2, pretend the overhead bin isn't directly in your line of sight. Step 3, squeeze into a seat designed for someone half my size and hope the circulation of my legs survives the flight. Well, guess what, guys? I got some good news for you. After we get onto the plane of this awkward time in the middle of me trying not to hit my head on a ceiling, which is a weird thing to say, on this flight, I happen to get the best seat that you could get for someone who is very tall. So any tall person, this is the seat you need to get. It's the exit row with no seat in front of it. You'll see it in a second. But if I don't have that seat, every time I sit down, the person next to me always gives me the same look. Half pity, half relief. It's not them. And honestly, sometimes they seem a little mad at me. I'm not sure why. They're like, it's like an inconvenience for them to be sitting next to someone really big. They're like, oh, gosh. I'm like, I'm the one who's uncomfortable here, man. And honestly, thinking about it, I don't blame them. I look like I'm sitting in a toddler seat. Like I said it earlier, I'm literally a T-Rex in a toddler seat when it comes to airline seats. It's even worse than regular chairs. If airlines really wanted to make money, they'd sell the tall guy viewing tickets. Just let people stare at me while I try to fold into 14B like a lawn chair. It's a horrible thing. You know, before we get onto the plane, this is always sort of the most awkward part. I'm just like checking my phone. I'm just hanging out in this weird waiting area. My head is literally on the ceiling. People behind me are asking how tall I am. I'm like, oh, what texture is this light here? Because sometimes if I'm not wearing a hat, I will literally scrape my head on this weird texture that is on a light, which is something people don't normally think about is like, I wonder if I will scratch my head on that light panel, which sometimes they're spiky, sometimes they're smooth. But when they're spiky like this, you scrape your head if you're not wearing a hat, or it even rips up your hat. But right in front of me, do you see this caution uneven surfaces sign? This is my arch nemesis. This sign is, for what you'll see, it makes me blind for a good amount of time, because if I'm just right behind it, which I am here, I can't see. I can see half of my vision, the rest is right here. People behind me are laughing, but once I get to duck under it and listen to all the comments, we're good. Also, the reflection off this guy's head in front of me was just immaculate. I was really there. I almost put on my sunglasses. Sorry, I had to say that joke. It was horrible. And I knew somebody was about to come in and get the bags, and he came in, he was like, whoa. And I was like, hey, what's up, man? He gets the bags, and he's just like, I've never seen someone as tall as you. And I was like, yeah, I get that. As I'm waiting to get on this plane, one of the most awkward experiences I've ever had was I was waiting to get on a plane, and the flight attendant was just staring at me. She was staring at me. She was doing like, you know, that type of wave that people do to little babies where they like move one of their fingers up and down, like almost like a candy cane. It's like goes into a straight stick into a candy cane. You're picturing it perfectly. Maybe you're even doing it with your hand. She was standing there for like 5 minutes doing this to me, and everyone was looking back at me. I was getting annoyed because I'm like, she's pointing even more attention to me. I don't even want this attention right now. I'm like, I just want to get to my seat. Look at it. I turn around, everyone's just staring at me. Sorry, I just saw that when I was recording this voiceover. And it was the most awkward thing. And then I finally walk up and she goes, honey, I've been watching you. And I was like, yeah, I know. It was really awkward. What's going on? She goes, you know what? I'm going to give you a free drink once you sit down. And I was like, okay. I'm 17 years old. No, I'm just kidding. I did take the drink, and it was delicious, but people do the weirdest things when you're just standing there. Another time, I was standing on a plane, and the person in front of me was taking a long time. I felt a little tickle on my calf, like on my leg, and I turned around. Well, first I ignored it, but then I turned around, and there was a person in their seat tickling my calf, and they were doing the same motion, actually, which is like the weird, like I said, the stick into a candy cane going Gucci Gucci goo. Now that I think about it, people have done that to me a lot. That's anyways, they were doing that to my calf, and he just goes, dude, you are so tall. And I was like, first off, were you the one just tickling my leg? What was going on right there? That was a little weird, but I was also like, yeah, haha. Like, I don't ever know what to say to that. It's like the weirdest thing that you say. Regardless of all the weird things that happen, folks, we are here. It is time to finally get on the plane, and it's weird to always have to duck. The flight attendants here said, oh my gosh, you're so tall. How tall are you? And I actually ignored them on accident. Not until I sat down, I realized that they asked me, and everyone sort of just stares at me right here. You can see the angle of the camera is a little weird because look at that guy on the left staring. I try not to hit my head on the exit signs and all these different things. And so when people stop, I'm like sort of just standing here, tilting my head, trying not to get a crick in my neck. I'm trying to find out where my seat is. And like I said earlier, I got the best seat in the house if you're tall, but that's where these two people are sitting right now. It ended up being super nice. And then I got to figure out how to squeeze into here. That one right there. And they're already looking at me. She started laughing right now. And I'm like, okay, I'll sit this here, try to fit around here. And Delta left me a card. I don't know what that was about. But then, hey, does she say any comment? Let's see.
I think you need the extra leg.
Yes, I do. Yep, there's the comment. You gotta love it. It happens every single time I sit down, and luckily she was nice. Like I said, sometimes people are not nice, and that's just not a cool thing. But look at the legroom here. This is just amazing. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do right now. I was confused on why there was a card in my seat and why Delta knew that I was coming there. Like that weirded me out a little bit. Got my little muffin from Starbucks that people used me as a sign at. And, whoa, sorry, excuse me. And as you see me sitting here getting all excited that I have all this legroom and actually trying to figure out where to put my bag so my feet would fit as well. Here's the thing. As crazy as airports are for me, I secretly kind of love it. Every walkthrough is like a highlight reel of humanity, and I've sort of made a business out of it with these videos, and you guys love these videos, and it's helped me embrace my height and just being comfortable with it because I know it makes you guys happy. I get to make kids laugh, help strangers grab things, and remember that, yeah, the world is really built for hobbits, not me. I guess that's not the fun part about it. And even though I don't blend in, I've kind of accepted that I never will. Instead, I just embrace it because if you're going to stand out, you might as well stand tall. Literally. That's the only choice I have to do. So that's the life of a 7'1" traveler. And as I sit here and get my nice little leg room and stretch my legs out and get all excited, you realize being 7'1" in the airport is really part comedy show, part obstacle course, and part public service job. Next time you're flying, keep your eyes peeled because if I'm there, trust me, you'll know. I'll be the guy scanning the departure boards without even lifting his head and probably standing in front of a Starbucks as a marker for people. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe, like the video, and comment down below, how tall would you like to be?